Voices inside Department 90. In Los Angeles County, inside a courtroom meant to deliver fairness and dignity, 42 voices have spoken. Their stories, raw, emotional, and consistent, paint a portrait of a judicial officer whose conduct has shaken public trust. These are their words, their experiences, their truth. Hear what 42 litigants say happened to them in the courtroom of Commissioner Emma Castro, LA County Superior Court Small Claims. Litigant 1, criminal defense lawyer. Summary. Reviewer alleges incompetence, racism, and lack of legal knowledge. Quote, "She's incompetent, racist, lacks acumen and good judgment. I doubt her qualifications." Reenactment. A defense attorney sits in a dim office, recounting the experience. Litigant 2, litigant. Summary. Litigant says they were unheard and denied a continuance. Quote, "I give her 0 stars. I left feeling completely unheard." Reenactment. A litigant tries to speak while being cut off. Litigant 3, other. Summary. Reviewer describes her as mean, dismissive, and unable to see nuance. Quote, "She's terrible. Mean drunk on her own idiocy." Litigant 4, other, 135463. Summary. Reviewer alleges racism and poor temperament. Quote, "She's racist, unfair, and has a horrible temperament." Litigant 5, other. Summary. Reviewer says motions were not allowed and bailiff acted aggressively. Quote, "She would not allow me to present my motions. The bailiff starts to approach you." Litigant 6, other. Summary. Reviewer questions how she remains on the bench. Quote, "She is completely unfit. This department is a disgrace." Litigant 7, litigant. Summary. Reviewer calls her incompetent and demands removal. Quote, "This woman is a complete idiot, needs to be removed from the bench." Litigant 8, criminal defense lawyer. Summary. Reviewer alleges gross incompetence and inability to follow the law. Quote, "Grossly incompetent, a disgrace to our judicial system." Litigant 9, criminal defense lawyer. Summary. Reviewer describes bizarre behavior and yelling at imaginary people. Quote, "This woman is nuts, yelling at imaginary people." Litigant 10, other, 134890. Summary. Reviewer says she focuses on irrelevant issues and lacks intelligence. Quote, "It's a waste of time. She doesn't seem intelligent." Litigant 11, other. Summary. Reviewer alleges inexperience and racism. Quote, "She's the worst and inexperienced with a racist mentality." Litigant 12, litigant. Summary. Reviewer describes her as anti-landlord and impatient. Quote, "Categorically anti-landlord, brusque and impatient." Litigant 13, other. Summary. Reviewer claims she ignored lies and possibly acted with racial bias. Quote, "She's a dishonorable judge, probably due to race." Litigant 14, criminal defense lawyer. Summary. Reviewer says she ignores her own rulings. Quote, "She ignores her own previous rulings, should be replaced." Litigant 15, civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer alleges she always rules for companies. Quote, "Never follows the law, always rules in favor of the company." Litigant 16, litigant. Summary. Reviewer claims abusive behavior and yelling at imaginary reasons. Quote, "Abusive, nasty, yelling at a litigant for imaginary reasons." Litigant 17, litigant. Summary. Reviewer says she lacks temperament and warns the public. Quote, "She doesn't have the temperament. I am telling the general public." Litigant 18, litigant. Summary. Reviewer calls her fraud and alleges law violations. Quote, "Do not allow this fraud," she screams at people. Litigant 19, other. Summary. Reviewer says she ignored plaintiff's evidence. Quote, "She conveniently looked over all the plaintiff's evidence." Litigant 20, other. Summary. Reviewer alleges favoritism and bias. Quote, "Shows favoritism, great description of the evil witch." Chapter 3, the Middletown litigant 21, civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer alleges extreme prejudice and disrespect. Quote, prejudiced, biased, and unhinged. 0 respect. Litigant 22. Litigant. Summary. Reviewer warns property owners. Quote, "She certainly dislikes many PPL, especially property owners." Litigant 23. Other. Summary. Reviewer reports bias and condescending behavior. Quote, "She spoke to one Asian man as if he were stupid." Litigant 24. Other. Summary. Reviewer says she lacks competence in collision cases. Quote, "Not competent. Her response was ridiculously unfit." Litigant 25. Court staff. Summary. Staff member says she is not a good commissioner. Quote, "She is not a very good one." Litigant 26. Civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer corrects misinformation about licensing. Quote, "If you were really a lawyer, you'd know." Litigant 27. Civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer alleges abuse of authority and racism. Quote, "Abused authority, racist judge." Litigant 28. Civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer says she is untethered from precedent. Quote, "Her decisions can be prejudiced by her personal feelings." Litigant 29. Criminal defense lawyer, 125648. Summary. Reviewer alleges screaming and refusal to hear defendants. Quote, "She did not let defendants speak. She kept screaming." Litigant 30. Other, 125,600. Summary. Reviewer expresses disbelief at her competence. Quote, "Only in Los Angeles can a completely incompetent person hold such a position." Litigant 31. Civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer cites official, not qualified rating. Quote, "Found Emma Castro not qualified for a superior court judgeship." Litigant 32. Other. Summary. Reviewer says she silences defendants and is rude. Quote, "She did not let the defendant explain. She is very rude." Litigant 33. Other. Summary. Reviewer alleges improper acceptance of evidence. Quote, "She simply took what the defendant presented without cross-checking." Litigant 34. Other. Summary. Reviewer says she lacks knowledge of civil codes. Quote, "She knows nothing about California small claims civil codes." Litigant 35. Civil litigation, private, 118620. Summary. Reviewer says she delayed ruling and reaffirmed old judgment. Quote, "For weeks later, she just reaffirmed the previous judgment." Litigant 36. Civil litigation, government. Summary. Reviewer describes irrelevant questions and refusal to accept correction. Quote, "She doesn't like to be corrected, even when she is 100% wrong." Litigant 37. Other. Summary. Reviewer alleges favoritism and lack of respect for codes. Quote, "She has no knowledge or respect for Cal civil codes. She plays favorites." Litigant 38. Litigant. Summary. The lone positive litigant praises her for listening and reviewing evidence. Quote, "She will ask questions, listen, litigant the evidence." Litigant 39. Criminal defense lawyer, 105507. Summary. Reviewer alleges she rules based on who she likes. Quote, "She doesn't listen to evidence, rules based on who she likes better." Litigant 40. Civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer says she is untethered from precedent. Quote, "Untethered from legal precedent." Litigant 41. Civil litigation, private. Summary. Reviewer alleges abuse of authority and favoritism. Quote, "Abused authority supporting fraudulent activity." Litigant 42. Other, 125,600. Summary. Reviewer expresses disbelief at her competence. Quote, "Only in Los Angeles can a completely incompetent person hold such a position." 42 voices. 41 warnings. 1 lone defender. Together, they form a portrait of a courtroom where litigants feel unheard, disrespected, or dismissed. These are their stories, their experiences, their truth.